Hello, everybody. It's Thursday again, and I'm loving these Thursdays and getting a chance to chat with some wonderful people, mission partners around the world, as well as some of our great GMP participants and others involved in GMP and involved in ministry in other places as well. And I am so excited today. I gave you a little teaser last week at the end of the interview saying that we're going to be talking to someone very special this week. And I'm telling you, I am really excited about this, about a potential new location for us and great new mission partners. And their names are Rick and Becky Martin, and they are going to join us and get right into this right now. So let me bring them on right now. Hello there. That's
Hi, brother.
Rick and Becky. Now, for the sake of our GMP folks who are watching and listening right now, let me say that today, where I am in Nashville, Tennessee, it's 5 p.m. in the afternoon. For Rick and Becky, it is 6 a.m. in the morning. And so they were kind enough and gracious enough to rise a little early. And Rick actually told me that Becky's an early riser anyway. But he said he normally sleeps until noon. And no, that's right. You didn't tell me that. That's right. But anyway, it's so good to see y'all today. And our folks are going to enjoy hearing more about you. So I want to jump right into this. I want to know, tell me where you're from originally. Becky, where are you from originally?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. I love that city. I've been there many times to record there, do recording sessions in Indianapolis and in Alexandria at the Gaither Studios. So I know that area well. And how about you, Rick?
I'm from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay, so we have Indianapolis over here and Oklahoma over here. So somewhere or another there had to be a merge. So how did y'all come together?
We met on Valentine's Day, believe it or not. 2 weeks after I got saved. Becky had gotten saved not long before that, and we were in a Christian church Bible college. I went to a Baptist church and changed my life. Got saved that night, and Becky got saved a few months before that, and we just hit it off. That's how we met at a Bible school. She was visiting the Bible college. I was in there already, and met on Valentine's Day.
I love that story. Now, Becky, is that accurate?
Pretty much.
I didn't sure. She met me on Valentine's Day. That's all the good part.
Well, that's good. If you don't mind, you got married and you launched into ministry. Becky, tell me, how did God call you and Rick to the mission field?
I would have to say that for a wife, we're pretty much at the mercy of our husbands. So it's either go with him or divorce him.
She's funny. You would answer the rest of it or not?
But we were at pastor school in Hammond, Indiana, and the late missionary Bob Hughes came to speak. And that night, Rick turned to me and said, "We're going to the Philippines."
Wow. Okay, so Rick, why the Philippines?
Because that's where the missionary was from there, and he was told about how receptive the people were here, the open doors, and they're still even better today than then. So receptive. Just where the Lord sent me. I had never intended on being a missionary. Last thing I thought I'd be an assistant pastor, because I really liked serving. My dad was a pastor. I really liked serving somebody and not being the leader. So God just, it's where He called me to go to.
Wow, that is so impressive, Becky. If you will, I'm going to ask you one brief question, and Becky's got to leave us. She's got some other things she's got to get to, but tell me what some of your favorite or unique things that you do in Philippines specifically in your ministry there, or some things that you were really led to do, or that you've been seeing great successes with.
I love what you call in the States the bus ministry, but here we use jeepneys. So it's a jeepney ministry. I go out on the routes and invite people to church and bring them in on the jeepneys to our services. That's my favorite thing.
Wow. Well, and I have to say that Rick's already kind of primed me a little bit, and he told me that you are a dynamic soul winner, and I am thankful for your zeal for sharing with people wherever you are. So I'm thankful for that. Now, Becky, I know you need to leave us, and so I'm going to say goodbye to you. And you go ahead. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
So, Rick, tell me a little bit about the strategies that you used in the beginning and there in Philippines in reaching people.
I came on a survey trip in August of '76, and I went to 3 cities, decided on Ilo City, believed the Lord wanted us to come here, and came back. And about a week after we came here, we started a Bible study, which is common, and started churches here, and started church. And within a year, because you don't know how long you're going to be here, in a foreign country, I decided to start a Bible college at the age of 25. You can imagine that. But
Wow.
we just this year is our 40th graduating class of Elo Baptist College. But my main passion is starting churches, reaching people, and most of these churches are out in rural areas, small places. But that's my passion, and we have quite a few of our guys have their own Bible schools now. Many of our graduates do. So that's
Wow.
the strategy.
So church planting was really your driving force there,
Yes.
in seeing churches started with more and more people being reached in a variety of locations there. Now,
Yeah.
Primarily in the city where you are, or in outlying cities as well?
Well, yeah, they're all around the Philippines. We have missionaries in different countries around the world. A few of them, 3 of them are in Africa, and 2 of them are in Haiti. They all have Bible schools there, training preachers, and then, but the ones here, most of them are in Region 6. There's a huge number of churches here in Mindanao, but primarily in this area because they speak Ilonggo, the local dialect.
Now, how long have you been missionaries in Philippines?
We've been here 43 years.
43 years. Should I assume it feels a lot like home there?
This is home, definitely home. It's definitely home. We of course have our relatives and our kids and our grandkids back in the States, so it's home there too. But this is really home.
Wow. I started to say I applaud you, and I do, but I congratulate you and thank you for your faithfulness to your service there. One of the things that we've learned at GMP, even though we do short-term mission projects of 10 days or so or whatever, we have seen the significance of going back, because you can't build relationships without time and then returning to those locations. Obviously, that's one of the things over this period of time that you have been there, that you are building relationships every single day there.
Yes, yeah, it's all about people, and got a lot. Our friends are here. I mean, this is our staff. I'm as close to them as my family in the States, and we love to work with people. I'm not a leader type. I pastor the church, but I only preach once a week now. I preach on Sunday nights. I love to organize things, and so that's kind of how we got into the music part of it. I love music, and not a musician, but really do love music.
Well, now let's go ahead and talk about that some, because one of the reasons we're talking to you today, you and Becky both today, is because there was a point in time when you discovered that music could potentially be a great strategy to use in reaching people. When did that happen, and how did that happen?
That was back in 2000, the year 2000. In July, I went to a friend's church in California. Had a very good music program. They had and Sunday morning I was there, and I couldn't believe they had an orchestra there. I wasn't familiar with that in churches. A fairly good size one, maybe 40 players, and they had a beautiful choir, and they sang your song, your arrangement of "Hallelujah, What a Savior" that morning, and that started it. I just said, we're going to start an orchestra, and I didn't know how, but came back, and then my wife found a strings teacher to teach strings to some of our kids, and then expanded from there.
So you don't really have a musical background.
No, I don't. I was a pastor's kid. I took piano for 4 years and was a failure. I was a trumpet player for 2 years and was a failure. When I was in high school, I wrestled because I wasn't a musician. I did, but I've always liked music, and really know how important it is in churches and to reach people, especially.
Well, now you saw that choir and orchestra at the church in California, and you mentioned that Becky connected with a string teacher there in Philippines. Tell me how all that evolved over those years and starting that program.
It started in just right when I got back. We found a string teacher and took 5 of our kids, including my daughter, and they started learning to play violin. All of them at the beginning. Later, we moved some of them. Some of them had kind of a musical background, but not in orchestra instruments. And moved one to French horn, one to trumpet, and within about 3 years later, we would have them play before the service on the front row, but not as an orchestra. And finally, after 3 years, we took the plunge and put them on our platform and had them play, before the services and during. That was 2003. So players at that, 22 players at that time.
So, now, are you primarily working with a one orchestra right now there in one location?
Yeah, the main ones here in our city. There are other ones that we've helped start, a few others that we've had a part in having workshops, and they've come here to visit. Some of them will send their best players here from time to time for help. But just really, it's here at Little Baptist Church for their main orchestras.
Now, you've actually sent me recordings. I kind of wish I had one to play for the folks right now, but we will start to begin to post some here on our website or on our Facebook page and YouTube potentially in the near future. But I've been very impressed with the musical, excellence of the musicians, and what appears to be their hearts for the Lord in serving Him with this gift of music. Now, so how did you recruit these potential musicians for the orchestra program and for the choir as well?
We've had a choir for years. The orchestra, though, is mainly, we start out with our staff kids. We have about 45 staff members here. And so we have their kids. We have a small school for them. It's only for our staff kids. And so they grew up learning to have it. They start in grade school, and those are our core still. We had 4 of them graduate this year, and that's one of our things. We have a large turnover in our orchestra, and 4 of our own kids here betrayed me and left and went and started churches. But we started by having just our own staff kids, and then others in our church and in our Bible college, and so that's basically how we started it.
Oh, that's exciting! I have to tell our folks that are watching that I quote met you through an email a few weeks ago, and how that happened is that Rick and Becky had discovered my website and had been using some of my music before, but my arrangements, and they sent in an order for some music, and so my normal response I did and got the music to them via email and sources, digital sources. And I was thankful to be able to do that. But it ended up that I found out that you were in the Philippines. I went, oh, wow, I'm international. But that not seriously, that wasn't the thing. But I was intrigued, and I wrote and asked about you, and we began to communicate via email. And as you illuminated what you're doing there and how music has become a part of your strategy and your tool to use for reaching people, I just wanted to hear more and more and more. And I'm so excited about this time to talk to you today and for you to illuminate our listeners today to what's going on there. And I have to say that to all of our listeners, we've never been to Philippines with GMP at this point, but it's coming. And Rick and I are already in the planning process for that to happen in the relatively near future as we continue to move ahead and work through COVID and all this stuff that we're dealing with, but looking at it as a unique possibility in the near future. And I think, and Rick is actually excited about it as well. So
yes, very excited.
So we will be taking a celebration orchestra team to the Philippines in the very, very near future. Rick, I always kind of ask because I'd like to hear, in my experience with our projects, how people are being reached using music as a tool for a connection. And do you have any stories or a story you can share with me about how that's taking place there?
People, when we first started in 2003, it really opened up things we would never do. We started a musical every year. We've done it for 16 years now. Easter, we do 3 presentations and 3 in December. And that has been, I mean, well, several thousand visitors, first-time visitors come for those. We have that opened it up. We never would have had one like that would reach so many people. We have patriotic events through this. We have a police appreciation service. We started that right after we started our orchestra. We have one for the firefighters in March during their fire safety month. We have one for the armed forces of the Philippines and the veterans in May. We've done that every year except for COVID for the last 15, 16 years, all starting because the music. And then we're able to go, you're able to go in the public schools. Their constitution allows any religious group to go in the schools and teach on a voluntary basis. But the schools really open up with the whole orchestra. We'll go into a public school. We've been to over 40 of them in the city.
Wow.
And through the years, and it's an all-day, almost an all-day thing. We'll go out early in the morning. We'll have a feeding sometimes in the morning. If it's an elementary school, set up, have a practice at noon, start at 1:30, get done at 4, and come back here by 5. So it's an all-day thing. But we have a program where the kids have games and prizes, and we play the music. We teach them each. We let them listen to each instrument in the orchestra. We explain why it's important for that instrument, the sections, and that kind of thing, and honor all the teachers that have been in their school like 20 years, and they like that. Just things like that. We have classes on Saturdays for free lessons for anybody in our city that wants to come. And if they don't have an instrument, we'll start them out on a recorder and give them one of those. And after a while, some of them we've given instruments as well. And then, but outreach, that's some of the ways that we're able to reach people here.
The more you share just then, it's just a perfect fit for us, for GMP, for how we serve as well and serve alongside. I was going to ask you, did you have any, like a single story about how music was used in the lives of one of your people?
Someone that got saved. We had during the Christmas music about 8 or 10 years ago. We always have a problem with electricity here. So we have brownouts from time to time. It's happened during a musical several times. We have a generator, and our generator was broke right before the musical. And we had this guy came in about 23 years old and was fixing it. And our head of our drama part, the actors, Mario, witnessed to him and started spending time with him while he's fixing our generator. And he came to the Lord and received Christ as his Savior. And then he came to every the 3 presentations. And then he, a few weeks later, said, "I want to go to Bible school and be in your musical every year." And so for the next 4 years, he was in it as a technician with PA and stuff like that. And his last Christmas here musical, he was in another. By the way, he graduated and went out and started a church.
Wow.
Right after he graduated. And then another guy came in 2015 in the Christmas musical. That guy's last year. His name was Romy Apitana. He came and he had been witnessed to before but hadn't gotten saved. But when he saw the scenes of the cross at the end of the drama, and it just spoke to his heart, he got saved. And he came and he said the same thing. "I want to be in your musical. And how do I get in?" And we're joking with him. "We'll go to Bible school and we might let you do it." So he came to Bible college, and he became our Barabbas. He became an actor, and it's pretty good Barabbas. They start on the bottom when you our guy that directs this, Mario, was Judas at the first time, and now he's Jesus. He's moved up from Judas to wise man to Jesus. But he was Barabbas for 3 or 4 years, and really was the best Barabbas we had. And
Wow.
so Barabbas got saved before he became Barabbas. But he graduated. He went out and started a church too. And
Wow. So that is so incredible. So the theater, the music, the singing, all of that came together. Just 2 examples of people who were impacted by the gospel of Jesus Christ and who came to him and are now pastors. That is so good. One thing that you did mention, our time's just about up here, but one thing you did mention is that the people in Philippines are very open to the gospel. It's very easy to share there. Is that correct?
Very easy. They're very receptive people. They've always been that way. Well, not always, but since we've been here, and even sometime before that, when the other missionaries here, there's opportunities everywhere. Like I was telling you earlier, you don't have a hard time finding someone to talk to. They'll listen to you about the gospel. You can find people.
That's awesome.
Bible studies, just so many open doors here, and they're very friendly. It's an English-speaking country, which is nice because if you came over, you could actually talk to people in your language, and that's a big help. But there are just countless ways to reach people. I won't go through all of them, but there's so many, and they are very open. I really want to encourage your prayers in what they're doing, the ones that go on these mission trips. We have a lot of visitors here, and I know the sacrifices that you must be making with your physically, it's hard. Financially, it's very hard to go through these trips. I know that from experience with these people that come, and then your time that you take away from your jobs, your family, and everything. It's a big sacrifice, but the impact you can have. And the musicians here, they are so eager. Every time we have visitors, they're asking if it's a group, is anybody going to come that's a really good brass player or something like that, or a percussion player or something. And so they're very eager to learn. They will listen, and you'll have an impact on people in their lives. And they're very grateful people too. And I hope that God allows you to do that, and pray that I don't think you'll forget. We came here 43 years ago, Becky and I, to win people to Christ and teach them how to grow in grace. But Brother Camp, I've looked back on my life. I've learned a lot more from these people than they've ever taught, than I've been able to teach them. You'll meet some of the most wonderful Christians, not just at this church, obviously, but around the country that love God and very passionate about reaching people to Him.
Well, I am so thankful to hear your passion for the ministry that you've had there, and it's been great to talk to you today. I hope our listeners and everything that are hearing this are encouraged and challenged to be looking ahead to the time when we'll be, God willing, heading to the Philippines on a unique project with you and Becky, and to have a great time together. So our time is up for today, but I want to tell all of our GMP folks, spread the word about this new connection. And I can tell you, tell you all that you've already heard the energy and the passion that Rick has shared, and I believe that it will be one of the best projects that we've ever had the opportunity to do when the time comes. We hope it'll be in the very near future. So God bless you all today, and Mr. Rick, and bye-bye. And please tell Becky we appreciate her appearing for us for a few minutes. And we'll see you all soon with another great interview here for Global Missions Project.
Thank you.